Hey everyone, it's time for our show. It's Marshall Atkinson with Q&A with Alan and Marshall. Um,
You're out of sync, Marshall.
Everything is messed up because we were just having a conversation about a movie about 2 seconds ago, and Alan goes, "Hey, we're live." And I'm like, "Oh."
1 second, we're live. And Marshall wouldn't stop talking. So basically, you got out of sync. You didn't say, "I'm Marshall Atkinson and I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way." You got me out of sync.
Good morning, I'm an idiot. That's what I should have said. So.
We're new at this.
This is our first show, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Anyway,
I hope everybody's had a great week. It's freezing here in Michigan right now, Marshall, of course.
It's freezing there in winter in Michigan.
In February in Michigan. Who knew?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing shorts here in Arizona. So there you go.
I have sweats on and, of course, a hoodie and stuff. And yeah.
So anyway, so welcome to our show. Thank you for joining us. Hey, if you're just tuning in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from and what your shop name is and all that cool stuff. We love keeping track of that stuff. And also, if you could do us a huge favor and share that you're watching it, that would be great. I know a lot of you guys do that. So huge shout out and thank you to you guys that do. But anyway, so let us know that you're watching. And also don't forget that this is a Q&A show and we rely on questions. We rely on you for the engagement, for stories, for the weird thing that's happening or something that really helps make this show go and run. So please share that stuff. That's super important.
And you know what? We always have topics, but those topics are not etched in stone. You can ask any question you want.
You can. And maybe we'll have the answer. Maybe we won't. Maybe somebody watching has the answer. That's the whole beauty of the show, is that we're here for you and we're trying to help out. So,
absolutely.
All right. We got some folks saying hello. So let's get to that. So, Charles says, hey, everyone. Good to see you, Charles. Our buddy Glenn's here. Is that you? That's your baby picture? Man, what happened, Glenn?
Hopefully we're not all going to start doing that. I'm not doing it.
All right. Mike's here. Good morning, Mike. Good seeing you. Sydney says, good morning from Odessa, Texas. Hey, guys. Richard's watching from southeast Michigan. I guess it's warmer in southeast Michigan.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit north of him. He's right on the river.
Yeah, William's here.
Hey, there it is.
David Wright's here. Hey, guys. Glenn says, yes, sir. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Alan needs a screen printed sweatshirt with the Q&A logo.
You know what? We all need one. We don't have one.
Yeah. Like, do we know anybody in the industry?
Or have that, or have them on there. We'll have to get one from Michael if we do it. So.
Yeah. Frank Kenny says, in Philadelphia, nice meeting you in Long Beach, Marshall. Hey, thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. Long Beach was great for that kind of stuff. And Braden says, good morning in Southeast Missouri, watching from LinkedIn.
All right. Hey, Braden.
Shoemakers never have shoes. That's exactly right.
Yep. So I have to go to Asia in a couple of weeks, and I'm going, gosh, I need to get T-shirts. I don't have any good T-shirts to wear. There, it's awful. The one thing the industry we're in, and it's the least thing I have. So it's terrible.
You know what you should get is a specially designed T-shirt for your trip that you give away to all your friends in the Philippines.
I'm gonna need a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll design something for you. Let's talk later.
Okay, great.
And look, Dan's here. Pop, I'm in. Congratulations. And Richard, by the way, says he's north of Canada here in Wyandotte.
For people that don't know, Detroit, Michigan is actually north of Canada. So
I didn't know that. That's weird. Is.
From where Canada and Windsor is. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yep, absolutely.
Weird. And Frank says, just back from my factory in Honduras, very warm there. Yes.
Yes.
Sure it is. Sure it is. All right. So we need to pay some bills, then we'll get the show started. What do you think?
So I was going to say real quick too on Glenn's picture that we're talking about. So a couple of days ago, early in the week, a friend of mine that is actually in the industry, we went to grammar school together, elementary school, from like second grade all the way to sixth grade when I moved.
You have friends in the industry that you go back with to second grade? That's
Did
crazy.
not know about it. And funny thing is, I didn't know they were in the industry. I get a message. They live in Temecula, California, and I get a message that they've been following me. You know, I'm doing this. So I did a seminar in Long Beach on bleeding and dye migration. So I comped them in and stuff. And it was weird. It's the first time I'd seen him since like sixth grade.
Wow.
He married one of my best friend's sisters. So
hold on. Have they changed much?
Yeah. Well, to put this, so his name's Carrie. Carrie posted a picture he found, and it's our sixth grade class picture. And he just put it up and said, "Can you recognize yourself?" And I did. And I just put, "This is rough, man. Why would you do this?"
I want to see that picture. Don't you, everyone watching right now, don't you guys want to see Alan's sixth grade picture?
I'm going to ask my parents if we were poor. It was 1977, 78. It was awful.
Yeah. That's great. All right. Hey, let's pay some bills. Hold on. Here we go.
GSG, the combination of over half a century of knowledge with industry-leading technology and the customer at the center of everything that we do. Graphic Solutions Group is a powerhouse distributor of traditional screen, sign, wide format digital printing, embroidery, and textile decorating. We are committed to our customers, providing support, educational, and consulting services. Your success is our success. We've seen these industries grow and change in our 70 years. One thing never changes: GSG's dedication providing the best products and services available. We've been around, we'll be around, from the highs and the lows, standing right here with you. GSG, the right products, right away.
I'm dying over here because of this.
I saw that. This is why I don't talk to Brian Bufka much.
Oh my gosh.
He's brutal.
I'm crying.
You guys are all brutal to me.
I'm laughing so hard.
No, I don't have. I do have that. I would put my kindergarten picture, which looks better than the sixth grade picture.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, hey, Philip's here. Good afternoon from the UK.
From
Avion.
So
missed out on Long Beach.
Yeah.
Love to see you. Hey, Josh says good morning. Good seeing you, Josh. Morning from Vespertise. And Ray's here. Greetings, Greenlings. Great.
Yeah, that sixth grade picture will never be shown. I will do a kindergarten picture if you want, where, you know, it was like 1971, big monster paisley collars. So
right. And Hurley says greetings from sunny Saskatchewan.
And I complained about the cold. At least I'm not in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. And then happy day after Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that last year? All right. Well, hey, it's going to be a great show.
I saw a meme and it had a picture of the groundhog and it just says, "Hey, I'm a rodent, not a meteorologist."
Yeah. Well, you know, I saw a thing that thing is right 69% of the time. So that's probably better than most TV meteorologists.
Oh, exactly. True.
All right. So let's get into it. And here's what I want to talk about first, which is a good segue with Groundhog Day. It's February already.
Already.
What happened to January? It dried up and blew away. Like it just evaporated out from under our feet.
Yeah.
And I totally lost track of time. And I was telling Alan this before the show that, back in, I don't know, November, I set my goals for this year, what I want to do and all that. Right. And I totally missed a swing and a miss baseball.
Yeah.
Right. With my goal, I only got to 55% of my goal for January. And it's because and I know exactly why. It's because I bought a house and all of my time and energy and effort went into either packing or unpacking. And
right.
And it's not an excuse. It's just, that's the truth. Right. And so I didn't do a lot of the things I really wanted to accomplish. And because I had a bigger priority. Right. And hey, somebody's calling. And so the reason why I wanted to bring that up is, I think, this could be true of a lot of people, right? And it's like one of these things so what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now is I really have to double down on my effort to hit my goals, right? And so that's the effort that I'm going to be working on. So that means later hours, that means working on the weekends or whatever to get these things done that I want done. And I'm going to have to knuckle down and do it. And so what I want you guys to think about, and I want to hear your thoughts too, Alan, is January happened. So was it a success for you? Did you miss your goals? What did you do? Did you even make goals? Maybe that's a topic, right? Yeah. Where are you on that? Because now here we are in February and we want to hit February goals also, right? So it's kind of like what's happening right now. So let's talk.
So here's the other thing too. It's February already. And and you know what? It's a short month. Factor that in, Marshall. There's only 28 days. So total. So it's a short month. For me, it gets scarier because I leave the 23rd for Asia and won't come back to March 14th. What am I thinking? There is a ton of chunk of time just gone. So on goals, you know what? I usually, as a company, we post them what we think our goals are going to be. Because of some things going on, just pricing and stuff, we haven't done that. I wrote down goals that I want, and I just had to adjust them because I know some pricing things and I got to adjust for, when you have a price increase, you can't just go, I made my goal. Well, prices increased 10%, so you got to adjust it. But from last year, I missed it totally for this month by 20,000. And that's a lot of money in supply. Now, could that have been if things slow down? Could it have been working with dealers? Could it have been just what we call cyclical? Just a cycle of who ordered, who didn't. Could it be we had a lot of freeze days and couldn't ship? There's a lot of factors, but fact is, I still missed it by 20 grand. I've got to make that up now.
Yeah, right.
I am in the hole. So,
I think a lot of people might be in the hole, right? Because January typically is a slower month. So it's really about, are you putting in the sales activities, right? Are you making the calls? Are you making the visits? Are you making the marketing? Right. Are you doing the things that you need to be doing? And for me, I had tons of plans and I didn't do them, right? So for me, the answer is I didn't do what I needed to do. And I'm just being brutally honest. I didn't do it. How come I didn't hit my goals? I didn't do the work. Let's just be honest about it, right? And so so now I got to make up, right? So I think that's kind of what I wanted to get out here. So would love you guys to chime in on your thoughts on what's going on. I know some people did that. So let's get to that. So Chris says, we're finally getting on the deep freeze. Okay. Wow. Ray says, if I made my New Year's goal 100%, the goal was to live through January. Congratulations. I like to picture Alan uses an award-winning podcast as president of his fan club. I don't want him to change it.
And Marshall hates that picture. Marshall calls it the floating head.
Yeah, it's a decapitated Alan, right?
It's on a black background. I'm wearing a black mock turtle, and
Yeah, so it's just Alan's head floating,
Yeah. The Steve Jobs look. Yeah.
Nothing good's come out of January, so good riddance, right? Ray says, actually, my real goal is to tie up several loose in R&D projects that have been stalled due to material and money issues from this past year. Okay. And Jim's here. Good day, gentlemen.
Hey, Jim.
With his AI headshot. I love that. I've got on that bandwagon too. So I changed my avatar on Instagram to I call it the superhero look. I look like I'm about to save the world or something.
Right.
So anyway, so February, it's a short month and lots of stuff going on. And so we'll see. You're going to be gone. I'm going on a trip here in a little bit, right? Everybody's got stuff going on, right? So
now, again, it was a busy January, but we had Long Beach, which was profitable. I have trips that I've taken and already been. I just got back from Southern Illinois, and this was from Long Beach of a trial, and went good. We'll see if that we can pull that home. So that could be real good. And it looks like I'm jammed up. I leave for Asia the 23rd, and up until then, I'm on the road.
Yeah,
looks like not a horrible thing, but yeah.
So Josh said he was profitable for January and loaded up for the rest of the quarter. Need employees.
Yep.
So that's good. So that could be a whole topic right there about how to get employees.
Right.
And Sean says, no saving the world until you hit your goals. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, I won't. I won't save the world.
I think he was talking to me on that going to Asia. So
yeah. So
that's right. Believe me, part of that's going to be a vacation for me too.
Yeah. Well, you need one. You work hard.
I try to. I think I do. Sometimes I wonder.
Are you working hard or hardly working? Right.
Yeah. No, I'm not hardly working, but yeah.
Okay. So Jim says Atlantic City this year. Unfortunately, Jim, I will not be attending Atlantic City this year. I have other things that are happening at that same time. So
I will be there this year.
There you go.
Myself, Rick Christian, Alex, and Jordan. And you've met Jordan for marketing for us. Her last name is Atkinson.
Yeah, she has a great name.
She does. And she does a great job for us. So the four of us will be there. Rick and I will be there until Saturday. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have to leave early Saturday but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But looking forward, I think it'll be better. It's got to be better than last year. Last year's AC show was not good.
Well, I don't know about that. I went to that show and I thought it was an okay show. I thought the people that actually went to the show got a lot out of it. I mean, so was it gigantically huge with lots of people? No. Did the people go? Did they learn something? Did they buy equipment? Did they do what they needed to do? The answer is yes.
Yeah, right? As a supplier, I look at it from different eyes in a lot of ways. I wasn't speaking there. Did you and I speak? Yes, we did.
We did our show from the
Q&A. Yes.
Thing. Yeah.
And so I did look at it from that end some, but as a supplier, when it dropped the way it was, I was glad we did not have a booth.
Yeah.
And I reported back to the company on that. And so,
yeah.
So
but we had one of the most monumental after show dinners ever.
We did. That was incredible. That was fun.
Yeah. And so what a blast that was. Right. So
anytime with Allie and Marge and Davis, it's always a good time.
Yeah. So all right. Let's go to the next topic, which is automation.
How about this? Jim, are you going? You asked about AC this year. Are you going to be there? So And if anybody else is listening and going, let us know if you're going to be there. Let me know.
Yeah. We always want to know who's going to be at shows, right?
And love to meet people. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's talk about automation, right? And I think a lot of people were looking at automation at Long Beach, or it could be at Atlantic City. And so what we mean by this is automation is, of course, is new equipment. It could be new software. It could be a thing like Zapier, just to pull information in and push it somewhere else, right? So how are you using automation to make your shop better? What are you interested in? What are you doing? I think that would be a really cool topic. And
Josh said needs employees. Where can you automate? I know he has a lot, but
yeah. So, for example, like if you're a manually coding screens, you could get an auto coder. So you could put a screen in and lock it in, and then walk away and do something else, and come back and your screen's coded, right? Yep. And so it allows you to get more things done with less people. So what are you guys interested in automating? And maybe we can talk about that a little bit. If there's a tool or some software or a piece of equipment, I think that's something we can talk about, right? And I know, for example, you guys, Easy Way, you guys, your blue water, right, is really selling like gangbusters, right?
There's two were installed last week, I believe. The one from the show was installed in Atlanta, and I think there was another one, and one is being installed. I'll be going to on that installation in 2 weeks in Iowa, and we can say
is that your Dubuque visit?
It is, and he has already posted that, so people know. Tom Rowan bought a blue water, and it's shipping early. So it looks like the week of the 13th it might be installed.
Yeah. So this is a auto reclaim unit. So like whether you're buying a blue water or not, why should somebody be looking at this equipment? I think that's something we should talk about.
Again, labor. There are people I've seen with auto reclaims that I don't care which one they get. I would say with Easy Way, hey, I don't care what auto reclaim you have. Our stuff just makes them all work better. And I believe that. I was at some M&R ones this past week. And we smoked the competition. So it was good. It's always fun. But auto reclaim allows you to either, one, be able to reclaim with less people. And you don't have to get rid of those people, but you can repurpose them.
Yeah.
One of the largest shops that has one, they do 800 to 1,000 screens, and they had a shift. They had 8 people reclaiming. They went down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. I know shops that do only 30 screens a day.
Yeah. And they're not firing these people. They're just redeploying the labor somewhere else.
Right. And I know shops that only do 30 screens a day. They said, we invested in it because I could put one person there, and in an hour and a half, all the screens be reclaimed. They're back doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about labor, no matter whose machine it is. It's all about savings on that.
Well, it's about getting more accomplished with less effort and cost,
Absolutely.
right? Also, when a machine does something, right, or software, whatever, right? It's how you set it up. It's always the same, right? And so it's very predictable. And I think in this industry, especially, we want to control variables as much as we can. So if we know that how we code a screen, or how we reclaim a screen, or how orders are being dumped into us software from a web page or whatever, we can build all that, and we know that it's always going to be right because of how we build it with the automated tool, right? I think that's really important, because we take out that it's the end of the day and I'm tired and I don't really do a good job with it or whatever, because it's a machine or a logic function of the software or whatever it is doing the thing for you. And that way you can use people in a better situation, but the outcome is always the same, and it becomes predictable and consistent, which really helps you like insert more quality into your process.
Agreed. And you have to remember that with any process in automation, machines don't have eyes. They just do what they do. Other things, software, they just do what they do. You got to have good information going in. You're going to have to adjust your processes there. You have crappy screens. My thing with auto reclaim is that everybody wants it, but in our mind we have, and I've done this in seminars on auto reclaim, we have in our mind the worst screen known to man, a wood one from 1978 with a ton of ink on it, with staple tape and
it's not just the
16 double X
ink. It's like 14 years of tape on there too,
and tape and this worst stuff, and 7 quarts of ink left on it. And we put in this machine, and the George Jetson, you hit a button, and George Jetson's song starts, da, 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 bing.
How's that go?
Da, 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 bing. And then out comes a brand new roller frame stretched at 50 newtons.
Yeah.
And that's in our mind.
That's not how it works?
It should, because there's fairies in there with dust and stuff, and just making things happen. It's magic.
Right.
Where machines don't have eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody's. Blue Waters don't. We tried to make it with eyes. They not good. They don't have eyes. So you have to do the work. If your screens are underexposed, you're going to have problems in your machine. You're going to have chewing gum all in the pumps. And I don't care whose chemical you have. There's going to be issues.
Yeah. Right.
So there is processes. Automation always will help you, but it will always show you where you suck at.
Well, also, automation makes you have wrong things faster.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Instead of making mistakes slower, now we're making them at our faster rate.
Right. And it's like that with auto coding, auto reclaim, automatic. You go from manual to auto printing. It's going to show you where you're terrible as a printer at.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean I can't? I don't need to. I usually stroke that 4 times. Yeah, well, don't do that.
Yeah, right.
So
Jim says he's going to try to get on the show.
Good.
Ray says, I spoke to more than a few people at Long Beach looking for soft automation, i.e. simplified processes to allow having less trained employees. Because just like Josh is, we're always looking for employees. So I think this is, by the way, one of the appeals of the direct-to-film scenario is the fact that we don't have to have trained screen printers anymore. We can just have people who can operate a heat press, and we're still decorating a shirt. So there's a lot of appeal to that, because now we can have the outcome without having all the other stuff involved. Of course, it's a different process. You're going to have a different outcome, but that's some of the appeal to that.
Right.
By the way, by this, I mean pre-registration systems, autocoders, etc.
I agree. And those are all automation, and they have to be done. They need to.
And I can speak for Blue Water Systems equipment, but auto reclaim is not generally for chemical savings. It's pretty labor and time.
It is mostly labor and time, and most machines, if someone in a machine says that their chemical costs could go down, will go down and guarantee it, run away. It depends on a lot of things. The bigger the machine, the more screens it'll do, your chemical cost is going to go up. On some of these big ones, I only know of one company that actually had documented chemical savings. And Marshall, that was you with the Grunig at Visual Marketing. And I challenged you on it when I first heard that, before we knew each other, and you showed the documentation. So
I worked really hard at measuring, because I'm a spreadsheet nut. And so we had with labor, chemical, whatever, we saved 73 cents a screen, if I remember right. And because how I did it was I measured before the machine, right? Yeah. Here's what we're doing. Here's what it costs. Here's how much chemical we were buying. Here's how many screens we had. So we had the average cost for everything. And then, of course, after the machine's you do the measurement here, and then the difference is the delta, right? So
No.
And that was all proved with
Yep.
math, right?
And you
I
didn't,
know
and
math
you
is
didn't do it.
scary. It's math is scary, Alan. We
Right.
can't do math, right?
It is.
I hate math. That's why I love spreadsheets. You just have the formulas set up correctly and the math's right.
Well,
so,
and you did it right. It wasn't just chemical cost savings; it was screen cost that you did.
I measured everything. So
Yeah.
it was,
and that's what we look at is what is your
Yeah.
screen cost. So
Right.
our largest machine out there for Blue Water, their screen cost is about 55 cents a screen, which is a little high, about 20% higher than we like. But it's Southern California. They have to use California compliant chemicals, which are 20% higher.
Yeah.
So we're going our screen cost. If we can go under 50 cents a screen, we're pretty stinking good on it. And like you said, where were you at? You were using, you had pigs just slopping chemical on. So yeah, that's going to do a lot.
Okay, so you really must get a music program for your Blue Water machines. In offset printing, Okamori presses played ice cream truck music while they were replating.
We looked into the George Jetson music, and it's copyrighted and owned by Hanna-Barbera, and they want a fortune for it.
Yeah. Okay, that's funny. So I guess you could hook that up to a Spotify channel, right? And
Absolutely. But I think Ray's right on auto reclaim. We do believe Blue Water is a different way of inline reclaiming, and we don't need to go into that now. But could be some. We've seen some chemical savings in it, but we can never guarantee it. Every shop's different.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a time out to talk about our sponsor, Go GSG, which you can buy a Blue Water from them, by the way.
Yeah, they've sold a bunch.
And so here's their webpage, and then their pulse right now is really only the sign one. The t-shirt textile decorator. Apparel decorator version comes out in, what did you say, March?
March.
Yeah. So right now we're really focusing on the sign stuff. So we thought we'd talk about banners today, because I know a lot of people do banners, but maybe you don't know where to get the banner blanks and stuff. So really want to focus this today. So what are we looking at here, Alan?
So we were looking mostly at the Star Print High Tenacity banner, and banners are great because if most people have a Roland or a Mamaki or something there, and everybody needs banners. Every shop has signage. Every shop needs a retractable display, and this is what they're printed on. So you can go to either a blockout banner like that, which will allow you to print on either side, and light won't penetrate through it, or you can go to a high tenacity, which is one side a little textured. Now, when I was managing bands, we had banners like this printed all the time, 6 foot, 8 foot banners. We had a small merch table. There it is. It was either hung up behind us or right there in front of us.
Right.
And then we got a pop-up one, with a big background on it. But banners are something. I love shops that have Rolands and Mamakis in it, because this is another profit center. Not necessarily a new market, but your same customers are still getting it from somewhere.
Yeah. So you could be doing shirts. Let's say somebody's having an event. You could say, hey, are you guys going to be doing banners?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Hey, well, here's the price for that. We already have your logo. We designed the thing. Would you like us to do the banners for that as well?
Absolutely.
How many people watching right now also do banners? That would be an interesting question, right? And so I think this is something that you guys can make a little more money. I call this the would you like fries with that
exactly.
sales technique, And so that's something we wanted to kind of share today. So you can get that, of course, at gogsg.com, right? Check it out, look at the pulse, click on that, and get some stuff ordered.
Here's the other thing. A lot of shops now, springtime's coming up, and there are a lot of golf outings that happen. And you always get asked, do you want to sponsor a hole or the golf outing? And t-shirts and stuff are there. Well, now you can go, hey, how about I sponsor the whole thing? And all the banners, all the flags and stuff were printed by your company. And
Yeah.
you provided
Right.
them.
You know, one of the things that Tom Rowland did during COVID is he printed for the restaurants in his area free pickup or whatever it was.
Right.
And on the back of the banner, it said, buy Envision Tees, And so when he made a lot of goodwill with these people,
Yep.
and that allowed for, more sales later because all these restaurants order T-shirts, right? And he would just went by and he made them banners and just dropped them off. They didn't even ask for it. So,
yep. Perfect. Tom is great at marketing that way. Everybody likes free stuff and they're going, wow. They think, especially when that was happening with free pickup, that was right when COVID. Mm-hmm. And man, everybody was looking to cut costs and stuff. And what a nice community. One, community goodwill, helping another small business from another small business and looking for dividend payouts later.
Yeah. So we got some good comments here. So Ray says, with auto reclaim, everything comes into play. Hard water, temperature, how nasty your screens are, ink, screen tension, no kidding. Alan and Marshall are spot on. The total final cost per screen per reclaim, chemical cost is only one factor. Thanks.
Yeah. And then we have to remember that all machines are different. All chemistries are different. I get in there going, with auto reclaim, people go, it doesn't matter, just get the cheapest chemical. Well, really? Yeah.
I wouldn't use the cheapest chemical. I would use the most effective chemical.
Exactly. Because it still comes down to screen cost.
Yeah.
So the company I was in, they are using a competitor. And you know what? Pricing is way less than ours. But Marshall, you'll love this being a process guy. They're having to pre-wash the screens before they go in. And
so guess what? You're not saving any money.
And they're having to hit them again, a lot more touch up at the end.
Yeah.
Where I ran through a rack of 26 of them, 26 plus a couple, and we had to touch up maybe one.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is a lot of people don't know why
do it without.
They don't know why they start buying whatever they bought, and a lot of times the person who made that decision might not even be with the company anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I have an example I've talked about previously, which is one of the things I did when I was running a shop was I wanted to change the shrink wrap. So we printed a lot of really large orders, which of course we shrink wrap the skids. Yep. And the CFO made all those purchasing decisions way back when. And she bought just the cheapest shrink wrap that you could find. And this stuff was just, you have to mummify the skid to secure the load, right? So I tested different brands of shrink wrap, and I found one that you could just go once around the skid.
Yep.
Okay, which saves the person time and effort. And of course, it was 3 times the cost for the roll of shrink wrap. And she didn't want to buy it. And I said, oh, yeah? Have you ever shrink wrapped a skid before? And she goes, no. I go, okay, well, here's the deal. I want you to do that skid with your stuff and my skid, that skid with the new stuff. Go.
Yeah.
And of course, this company, we're wrapping skids all the time. It's like the difference is not only the labor, the cost of material, it's the labor that your shipping department's doing because they're going around. It's like that dizzy bat game, where you put your forehead on the bat and go around the bat a couple times and try to run. That's what it's like to shrink wrap a lot of this stuff.
Yep, exactly.
And so imagine you're that worker. Which shrink wrap are you going to want to use?
And the shrink wrap is cheap. It's tearing. You're having to restart.
Yeah. So this proves my point, and we switched shrink wrap. So this is the same with tape. This is the same with chemicals. This is the same with ink. This is the same with emulsion. This is the same with a lot of products that we use. You got to look at the overall outcome, not just how much the material costs.
PMI tape. I'm doing a couple seminars for One Stop Supply, a shirt manufacturer for their expo, or a shirt supplier up in Grand Rapids, Michigan in April. Mm-hmm. And I guess PMI's tape is actually doing a seminar on tape the right way on there. And I think that is genius because most people will just get packing tape and try to use it on a screen, and you're saving money up front, but the time savings on the back of watching your reclaim guys trying to get it off, and now they have auto reclaim, and that
hold
tape,
on. It's even worse. Then they use the metal putty knife to
Oh,
find
yeah.
the edge of the tape, and now they rip the screen.
and tape that they can't get because it's going to auto reclaim. They want to keep that thing going. Now that tape is in your machine.
Yeah, right. And so this is why I went tapeless.
Yep.
Yeah, graphic screen fashion, no tape.
Yeah. Some people,
and so there's no tape on the
better.
screen. You don't have to worry about putting the tape on and taking it off.
The
right?
thing about PMI tape and all that, you tape it right, you pull a quarter, it all comes right off.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
So we got some good comments here. So Charles says they do banners.
Awesome.
Josh says super upsale.
Absolutely.
Brian says banners were my gateway drug into screen printing.
Cool.
Love that. Being able to print signage, banners, social distance decals carried us through COVID. Exactly.
Correct.
Braden says, young production manager here. I've been at the helm of 2 smaller shops and would love some tips on how to show value to larger shops who focus more on hiring Lean Six Sigma managers rather than people with industry experience and knowledge.
I know a guy.
Yeah, you should give me a call, Braden.
Yeah. Marshall's your man on that one. Braden, send us a note. Let us know who you're with.
Yeah. You can reach out to me. Here's my email, by the way, marshall@marshallatkinson.com.
Throw mine up.
Yeah, hold on. I goofed something up here. I don't know what I did. Here's Alan's, because this is the first time we've run a show before.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it again. What? There we go. All right. So John says, hey guys, listening and working. Thanks, John.
Yep.
John says cheap tape people are not buying auto reclaimers. They do not get it.
Not true. You would think so, but actually I do see it. They will buy the machine. Again, it's the George Jetson scenario. We're screen in. They think it's magic out the other end.
Yeah.
So I do see it. I'm going to disagree with that.
Yeah. How many shops have you been in, Alan, where they've got a tape ball the size of like a wheelbarrow?
Too many. Yeah.
It's like, hey, look, it's a tape meteorite.
Exactly. And they think it's not uncommon. They think they're the only one that's done that for 30 years.
It's a source of pride, look, and sometimes they name it, here, this is Wilson, our tape ball.
Exactly.
Right? All right. And Ray's here. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
And then Will says, this is a good conversation.
Thank you, Will.
Hey, Will, nice to see you. Will has some awesome marketing, by the way. You should check him out. Glenn says, hey, guys, I have to jump. Automation rolls over all the disciplines. Every printer should be looking hard at their business and where they can automate. All their products I work with today have elements of automation offerings. Thanks.
100% agreed. And I was talking about, screen because that's the wheelhouse I'm in. But that's why Marshall said it's software. It is heat transfer. It is heat press. It's everything can be automated, and you need to look at it. Abe Froman, how you doing?
Yeah, Lean Kanban Six Sigma stuff is dense and exceptionally dry, but there's good stuff in there that's awfully useful to organizing larger facilities. It's not everything, but arm yourself with some good knowledge. And Richard is going to share his book in about a half a second, probably, which is, if you want a place to start, a good place to start is a book called 2 Second Lean by Paul Akers.
Yeah, so, Richard, you're slipping, buddy.
Yeah. And Unicorns Poop Rainbow Sherbet.
Yep.
We start automating as soon as the quote is sent out. Good.
Very good.
All right. So we're going to close up here with something I wanted to talk about, which is artificial intelligence, chat GBT. So who that's watching right now is using this, right? So there's a couple of reasons why I want to bring this up. First off, tomorrow's blog article that I wrote the article with Chat GPT. I wanted to experiment with that. And also the image I'm using was created on Midjourney. So I'm using automation for both things. and I wanted to experiment just to see what would happen. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's a reason why I'm doing this, which is just to teach me, hey, is this going to work for me? Right. And so, and I learned some stuff, right? So I tried to make an article that sounded like me. And I want you guys, if you got a minute to read it tomorrow, tell me if it was successful. Did the article sound like a Marshall Atkinson written article or not? And, because, you may have read something I've written before. So it's just one of these things I want to see, what you guys think, right? But the purpose of it was to play around and experiment, right? And that is all about this, which is failure. FAIL is an acronym for first attempt in learning. Okay. Now,
Right.
I've been trying to get on the Chat GPT for a while now. And every time I try to log in, it's busy.
Yeah.
All servers are busy. Right. So I was finally able to get in, and this is what I produced. Right. And and then Brian, I'm not going to share your tip. So, but anyway, so the whole point here is that you got to mess around with stuff to learn if it's going to be right for you. Will it work? I'll probably be doing lots of stuff with this because it was really powerful. But what I want you to think about is this working for you? And so please share your story. And then Abe says, me and Ian. Great.
Let's talk about artificial intelligence. And it was good seeing Ian at the show. We missed you, James.
Ian Doherty?
Huh?
Ian Doherty?
Yeah. These are James and Ian from Second City Prints in Chicago, Illinois. So, I saw Ian there.
Yeah.
Missed you, James. Somebody had to hold down the shop, I think.
Ray says, my intelligence has always been artificial.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm using Chat GPT to write headlines, marketing emails, and brochures, right?
Cool.
And Brian's happy that the tip worked. So thanks.
Cool.
And
I'm one, this is all you. I have not used any AI at all. So probably should.
So here's how you could use it. What are the top 10 new podcast ideas that I could come up with?
Listen to you.
Yeah. Or, hey, what are the top 10 voiceovers that I need to create for my new voiceover business?
True.
So, there's a lot of ways that you could be using this stuff. And so it's one of these things you just got to get in there and dig around and play. And let me tell you, I played around with this for the article, and it was about the 4th or 5th time I wrote the prompt, because that's what's important here with Chat GPT. It's all about the prompts to get the result that I wanted, that I thought was usable, right? And it's how you write the words and what words you put in there and whatever, right? And so I think it's important that as an industry, we learn to see, is this going to work for me as a shop owner? How can I use it? Will it work in my marketing? Will it work with product descriptions? Will it work with whatever, right? Get in there and play with it and see what you think. That's the important part, right? So,
Marshall, since you used it and got logged in, what did you think of using it? How did it turn out?
Well, so in the article, one of the things I talked about was, to me, it's a tool. It's like this thing. Have you seen one of these before?
Calculator.
Yeah. So to me, it's a tool, just like a calculator. Yeah, I can do the math in my head, but maybe I really want to use a calculator to make sure it's right, because I'm a math dummy, right?
Yep.
So to me, it's exactly.
You're not the only one that has one right by it.
Yeah. So maybe what I need an easier way to create an article or a product description or a frequently asked question page or whatever. And it helps me. Will it be exactly perfect? I don't know. That's up for you to decide.
Right.
But maybe it gets you 90% of the way there, and then you can just tweak something and now you're done. Right?
A time saver.
Will it write my history term paper for me? I'm sure there's high schoolers out there really wanting to do that. And by the way, there is now a Chat GPT device that can detect if it was written by Chat GPT.
Nice.
So I'm sure teachers everywhere are really starting to hone in on the fact that maybe little Billy didn't write the thing. Right? So to me, it's no different than using a calculator, right? And so is this something that you can use to help you push things through and make things better? 100% yes. Okay. But the only way you're going to learn how to do it is to screw around with it and mess things up and, whatever. And like the image I used, by the way, the article prompt was about having a silver bullet, right? Having a silver bullet for decorative apparel success, kind of the idea. So there was the idea of silver bullets and werewolves and all that. So that's what I used for the prompts. And because I wanted something that was kind of weird a little bit just to see what would happen. And werewolves, so certainly weird enough. So what would happen if I use a decorative apparel industry article with werewolves? And so that's what I used. And so you can guess to see if the article came out. But the mid-journey part for the image gave me some really strange werewolf results, right?
Okay.
And so I picked the one that I kind of liked the best. I don't know if it was success or not, but that's what I used, right? But I
will definitely read it.
Yeah. So I think it's kind of interesting, and I think where people can use this are with your online stores, with product descriptions, with frequently asked questions, with anything that letters and stuff. And here's something that I did want to share is the fact that we're having a shirt lab workshop on this. You can check this out. Where's my thing? On Chat GPT. Let's not hide it. Hide. So this is going to be on February the 28th. So Allie and Tom are already using Chat GPT for a ton of things. So they're going to be sharing examples. I'm really kind of the host that's sticking around. They're going to be sharing examples, prompts, how to use it, what they use, their best practices, all that stuff. It's going to be February the 28th at 3:00 Eastern. $37 is pretty cheap. Sign up. If you're a member of Shirt Lab Tribe, which I hope you are, it's free. But if you're not, it's $37.
Yep.
And we would love for you to show up, right? So this is going to be the end of the month, and it's going to be lots of fun. And we'd love to see you there. We've got a whole bunch of people who have already signed up. And speaking of Shirt Lab workshops, we're having another one on February the 16th, which is a Tuesday. Ian Price Murphy, who is a Profit First professional, she's an accountant, right? This is a real person, knows all about this stuff, is doing a whole workshop on strategic bookkeeping, which is about using your numbers in your business that can guarantee your profitability because you know your numbers.
Yep.
Okay. So we're working through her presentation right now. That's going to be on the 16th, which is just 2 skips ahead from right now. And this is $97. And again, free for Shirt Lab Tribe members, right? So we'd love to see you guys there. And if you struggle with understanding your P&L statements, you understand where your profit should be and how you should be generating profit and all that kind of stuff, this is going to be a workshop for you. So I know, I can't tell you how many business owners, Alan, it's already 2023 and they don't know their gross and net profit from last year, let alone what happened in January, just last year. Hey, did you make money last year? I don't know.
No.
I talked to somebody the other day that still hasn't done it yet. I'm like, it's like, this was still in January. It was like the end of January. You still haven't closed your year out? No, yeah. I'm waiting on my bookkeeper to do it. I go, you need a new bookkeeper.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny, Marshall, and you and I talked about this a few months ago. My stepdad and I were having a conversation. He was not in our industry. He owned a company. He actually managed and was VP of Bendix, corporation for a while of manufacturing and owned his own wire harnessing company. And he said the one thing he always found is people getting into business and they need to take a simple business bookkeeping course and accounting course. He goes, they have no idea how to generate costs, how to watch their P&Ls and stuff. He goes, and it's maddening to him.
Are you making a profit or not?
Yeah.
I can't how many and I ask this question a lot when I talk to shop owners. It's like, do you pay yourself? No, I don't. I just pull money out of the business when I need it.
Unreal.
I go, okay. No, the answer is don't do that.
Yep.
Okay. You're going to burn yourself out. You're not going to be happy with the situation. Your profit, your business, your salary needs to be built into your pricing. So you're paying yourself.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so how do you do that? You have people help you set up the money and the pricing and that stuff. Right. And you don't have to go this alone. It's no badge of dishonor if you don't know how to do this stuff, because there's people out there that do. You just have to be brave enough to ask for help. Okay. And, and that workshop could help you with that, or talking with a bookkeeper and accountant. It doesn't have to be me. It could be anybody, right? Get the help that you need to get your business set up correctly so you're profitable and doing things the right way. That's what's important. So,
all right. And you know what? I'm gonna plug this, that if you haven't, Shirt Lab Tribe is amazing, and keep looking for this. There's workshops all over that. If you're not a tribe member, they're affordable. If you are a tribe member, they're free for your whole company.
Yeah.
So I did one just last week or 2 weeks ago, and yeah.
So, all right, and did we go over these? We haven't used it much to affect this is about ChatGPT, to affect hands-on business and production yet, but it's bearing fruit with document SOP review text after submitting metric data and commentary framework. That's great.
Perfect.
Been helpful in filling in documents tied to a comprehensive training checklist in syllabi for role changes and new hires. Perfect.
Yep.
Love it. And then Sean says Shirt Lab Tribe is awesome. Thank you, Sean.
You know what? And a lot of these, what I'm seeing about ChatGPT, I know Brian is a member of Tribe, and, it's just a conversation with other Tribe members helping each other on their business.
Well, that's what it's about. It's a community of apparel decorators. And these are the people that you want in your corner, because these aren't the pretend people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. These are the real deal people who are doing things, and everybody's on a different journey. And some of the people in Tribe, like, they're working out of their garage.
Yep.
And other people are $20 million a year shops. Okay. I mean, it's the whole gamut. But what connects everybody, I think, is a sense of community and a sense of mentorship. And we want to help you. And we do that by having a place you can go. We have our own area called Shirt Lab Tribe Circle. And then we also have a Q&A every single Tuesday at 5:00. A lot of people show up to that. Richard is there practically every call. And there's lots of good folks there and sharing their wisdom about stuff. And you should join. And if you miss any of that stuff, it's all recorded. You can just watch it later. Right?
Absolutely. Good stuff.
All right. So I think we're nearly out of time. What are you doing this weekend, Alan?
This weekend, well, I am actually, I told Marshall I'm thinking of selling my house. I'm meeting with the realtor just because I can make a lot of money and looking to downsize. We're talking about a new year and setting goals, and, I can downsize, and, always, life is always changing.
It is, isn't it? It's interesting that you're selling your house and I just bought one.
Yeah. That's what's going on. I showed Marshall, my real estate agent, had pictures while I was gone, and showed Marshall and said, "Oh, and
nice. Alan has a nice house."
Talk about marketing. Thank you. talk about marketing, as a real estate agent on social media, she had sneak preview coming soon. Already there's like 10 comments on it going, where is this at?
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I do have a nice house. I'm very proud of it. I'm very comfortable here. But when I bought it, Marshall, you remember, I sold the place on the lake because I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
Houses are always investments for me. And so when it goes up, yeah. So I'm going to downsize and become extremely 100% debt free.
That's great. I love debt free.
I love debt free. I've not been 100%. I've always had a house payment, so I'm excited.
I'm not debt free. I just bought a house.
Yeah, but I'm talking about no house payment, paying off my investment property, and and now just start socking money away for retirement.
Yeah, that's good.
Or I can live in Arizona or wherever.
Yeah, wherever. Right. So that's great. So love it, love it, love it. So I have got this weekend, I have all new office furniture coming to set up in my new office.
Yep.
And so next week, I might have something behind me that's different. We'll see. We'll see how good of a job I do.
And I've seen the layout. Of course, if you wonder, does Marshall put this stuff in practice every day of his life? He's telling about his office. He holds up a sheet to scale of every piece of furniture to scale in the office. So
here it is right here.
Yeah.
To scale drawing. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Because it's easier to move a piece of paper around than it is to move a heavy piece of furniture.
Absolutely.
And so if you're relocating your shop, this is what you should be doing.
Absolutely.
And thinking about how you're using it and where the stuff goes and where's the shelf, all that stuff, right? So,
I had a customer that when he would get a new piece of equipment, he would get the largest diameter needed. He would make cardboard cutout and set it up in the shop all around on the floor.
Oh, my trick isn't the cardboard cutout. Most presses are circular,
right?
Unless you buy a really old oval or something, right? But my trick is to use a garden hose.
Oh, very good.
So you can, your press is 28 feet in diameter. You just get your garden hose and make a circle with it that's 28 feet, and then walk around and get a skid. And is there room next to the wall? And then I like putting masking tape on the floor. Here's where the dryer is. Okay, so how close? And then pretend you're working, with your garden hose circle. You're unloading a shirt. How close is that to the thing? And the actual equipment is really heavy.
Yeah,
you don't really be doing this with a forklift and go, hey, can you move it 2 more inches over that way? Do it with the garden hose.
Well, when they had it laid out with the cardboard, they'd keep it there. And then as the equipment came in, then they would set it up right by there on where it needed to be. And they know where to do their electrical drops and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. And then that gets translated to a piece of paper, right? And then that's how you do it. So
absolutely.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you. If you're watching this recorded, because I know a lot of you guys do that, please like or share our comments so we know that you watched it that way.
Yep.
Even if you heard it instead of watching it on the podcast, we would love for you to do that as well. So
I want to give a special thank you and shout out to the people that listen to this and download it internationally. We got a report in there there was a ton of them. And even now, we have one of the guys from Aviant in England, in the UK listening. Thank you so much. And so we always have like 30 to, sometimes 12 to 50 people watching live, but there are thousands. It just amazes me, Marshall. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you, and we will talk to you next week. And have a good one.
Yep.